So one of the points I made when we learned officially that Trump is running again for president, one of the points I made is, oh boy, buckle up, because there is no positive ending to this. Stop and think about the potential outcomes, right? And this was before we knew that Biden was going to be the nominee on the Democratic side. So if you stop and think about it, it's like, Trump runs again. Okay, there's a chance he wins. If he wins, we get 4 more years of him. That's absolutely devastating. That's devastating. That's, like, look at their agenda for 2024. What is it, Project 2025, where they have their list of here's all the shit we're going to do, and each thing is worse than the next. Total right-wing social conservatism and authoritarianism put into law, like banning porn all throughout the country, cracking down on abortion everywhere, total deregulation of the marketplace, destroy the regulatory state, cut taxes for billionaires more. Everything's horrible. So he runs. There's a chance he wins. We get another 4 years of him. Disaster. There's also a chance he loses to the Democrat. And what's going to happen? Well, we saw this in 2020. He's just going to say he won. There's not a scenario where he's like, you know what? This one I think was fair. He made his whole identity around 2020 being stolen. And if he were to lose straight up this time, of course he's going to do the same thing he did in 2020. Of course he's going to go out there and say, no, I won. It's what he does. So either he wins, disaster, or he loses, but says he wins and puts us right back in the same position where we might have another January 6th type thing. We might have another fake elector scheme. So there's no good ending to this. Now, one of the things that saved us in 2020 is that a lot of the people around Trump were more institutionalist than him. So what I mean by that is you have these establishment Republicans who are wrong and horrible in 1,000 different ways. But one of the things where they drew a red line is we're not going to do a coup. We're not going to do a coup. We're not going to go out there and build a bogus narrative around you winning and Biden losing if you really lost. We're not going to seize the voting machines. We're not going to declare martial law. We're not going to do all these things because it's unacceptable. And so you have people like Mick Mulvaney and Bill Barr and all these establishment Republicans, again, who are horrible in 1,000 ways. But even like the White House counsel, like the attorneys in the White House, they were arguing vociferously with like Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and these absolute psychos, saying you can't do what you're trying to do right now. This is illegal. This isn't allowed. This is an attempted coup. This is insane. But now in a second term, those people would be gone in a second term. Now he's packed the administration with total sycophants and loyalists and people who are going to yes Donald Trump to death. So now we're already getting a peek of what that looks like. Okay, here's Tim Scott doing an interview on NBC, and look at how evasive he gets on this very basic question.
4 years of Joe Biden versus 4 years of Donald Trump. They're really excited to get back to the Trump years. And so I expect the election to be fair, and I expect Donald Trump to be our next president.
In terms of what he said, he specifically said, if it's not fair, as you're saying, you have to fight for the right of the country. And just this week, he said that he won Wisconsin falsely, Senator. So again, to the point, you voted to certify the election results of 2020. It's the exact opposite of what you said and did after 2020. Why would you want to be on a ticket with someone where there's such a fundamental difference?
There is clear facts here. President Trump himself said he expects this election to be fair, he expects it to be honest, and he expects to win. That's what the presidential candidate should expect, and I expect the exact same thing. And frankly, the American people agree with him. This is an issue that is not an issue, so I'm not going to make it an issue.
Well, Senator, will you commit to accepting the election results of 2024? Bottom line.
Well, at the end of the day, the 47th president of the United States will be President Donald Trump, and I'm excited to get back to low inflation, low unemployment.
Wait, Senator, yes or no? Yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter who wins?
That is my statement.
But is it just yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024?
I look forward to President Trump being the 47th president. Kristen, you could ask him multiple times.
Senator, just a yes or no answer.
So the American people will make the decision.
But I don't hear you committing
for President Trump. That's clear.
I don't hear you committing to the election results.
Here's the challenge.
Will you commit to accepting the election results?
This is why so many Americans believe that NBC is an extension of the Democrat Party. At the end of the day, I've said what I've said. I know that the American people, their voices will be heard, and I believe that President Trump will be our next president. It's that simple.
But, Senators, you know, the hallmark of our democracy is that both candidates agree to a peaceful transfer of power.
That goes on, by the way. I think it's a total of 6 times or 8 times. I saw a headline. It said it was like 6 times or 8 times that he refused to answer the question. The question is, will you accept the election results no matter what? And he won't say yes. He won't say yes. Now, why won't Tim Scott say yes? He knows he's in the running to be Trump's VP. So he's trying to coddle his nutsack and powder his bottom and tell him everything he wants to hear so that he gets picked. Now, let me ask you something. If Tim Scott gets picked, or if he's just anywhere in the Trump administration, if he gets chosen for Trump for any position, you think he's going to continue being like this, or do you think he'll suddenly grow a conscience and a spine and start standing up to Trump in a scenario where he crosses the line? No, he's going to do the same thing. He's broadcasting he's going to do the same thing. He won't even say, I'll accept the election results no matter what. He's letting you know, if Trump loses, he's going to say he won, and I'm going to go right there with him. And if Trump wins, like I said, he gets in office, the second Trump starts doing things that are illegal or shouldn't be done, he's not going to stop him. He's not going to say anything. He's not going to offer counsel in a better direction. He's not going to do it. It's so... Trump has now effectively made it a litmus test to be a Republican politician, that you have to deny the 2020 election and you have to be willing to deny the next election if Trump loses. All these, they're all so fucking power hungry that they're willing to have no integrity, no honor, no virtue. It's just flush it all down the toilet. All I care about is getting close to power. And so I will do whatever. And this is a dangerous game we're playing, man. If none of these people will keep it real, if none of these people will keep it real with Trump, then we're going to get exactly what you expect. So here is Laura Trump, who's at the top of the RNC, and listen to what she says here.
Saying for a while now that your priority is to ensure a transparent election, and I see that the RNC and the Trump campaign filing a lawsuit in a battleground state to stop counting ballots past Election Day. What are you doing with regard to suing Nevada right now?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. You cannot have ballots counted, Maria, after elections are over. And right now, that is one of the many lawsuits we have out across this country to ensure that just that happens, that we have a free, fair, and transparent election. So in Nevada, as you pointed out, we are saying we want on Election Day that to be the last day that mail-in ballots can be counted. And we've been very successful in a lot of lawsuits. A couple weeks ago, we won a big lawsuit in the state of Pennsylvania. They wanted to take off dates from mail-in ballots. Of course, the Democrats, in an effort to make it easier to cheat. We pushed back on that. We won, and that set precedent for the entire country.
They're openly trying to rig 2024 also. By the way, you guys might not have to do that. It's a freaking close race without you trying to rig it. But they're trying to rig it. Say, hey, we want to ban the counting of mail-in ballots after Election Day. Okay, well, what if all the ballots aren't counted? They go, we don't care. We want to say those are now illegal votes. Even if they were totally legal votes, done on the proper day, sent in, but the counting process takes longer. Sorry, your vote doesn't count because come 12:01 midnight, that's where we cut it off. By the way, why are they doing this? Guys, it's so obvious. Historically, Democrats do way better with the mail-in vote. The same day vote, Republicans do better. The mail-in votes, Democrats do better. It's not because of anything nefarious or rigging it. Trump went on the warpath against mail-in voting, saying don't do that. Biden was fine with saying, go ahead, do your mail-in votes. And so Democrats have a big advantage there, just like Republicans have a big advantage on the day. They're basically trying to say, make it illegal to count all the votes. Make that illegal. Let's stop the count when Trump is up. Guys, it's all like this is all happening right in front of our eyes. Like the plan to rig it and the plan to reject it if Biden wins, it's all right here. We are totally up shit's creek without a paddle. And I'll give you one more on this. This is in the Washington Post. Top RNC lawyer resigns after rift grows with Trump. The former president was angered by Charlie Spy's criticism of his false 2020 election fraud claims. So a top RNC lawyer who was a member of reality and acknowledged, yeah, you lost 2020. Now that guy's outski. Just like they did the total fucking bloodbath when Laura Trump went over to the RNC. They did a bloodbath and purged all of it of the people who are not hardcore MAGA, who are not hardcore loyalists. They're stacking everything with total MAGA sycophants. They're broadcasting yeah, we're gonna reject it if we lose. And we're all just sitting here like this isn't fucking happening. I told you there is no positive way for this to end. If Trump wins, we get 4 more years of Trump. If Trump loses, he's going to say he won, and boom, we're recycling 2020 all over again. They better hurry up with those criminal cases, man. They better hurry up with those criminal cases, because that appears like the last saving grace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.